go back to our top story and the deteriorating relations between Turkey and Russia. Joining me live from London is Sohrab Ahmari, from the Wall Street Journal. Thank you very much for joining us, Sohrab. Now, you're just back from the border between Iraq and Syria. How do you see the conflict after the crisis of this downed Russian jet?
Well, thank you for having me. On the border between Iraq and Syria, obviously, that's Iraqi Kurdistan, and there the main threat or the main focus is Islamic State or Daesh, and the KRG and Peshmerga, what they will tell you is that they're confident that they've managed to wrest back a lot of territory and to contain Islamic State, but they fear that the Western strategy is not enough to actually defeat Islamic State, as President Obama and others have said. Of course, across the border, as you indicated, you have the bigger mess of Syria, you have Islamic State, you have Kurdish Syrians fighting them, you have multiple Western powers bombing various positions, and there's this increasing risk of escalation between the Western forces, including Turkey and Russia, who's using that the skies over Syria, and there's no sign of the two sides de-escalating or deconflicting, as the favorite White House neologism for that is.
Sohrab, let's look at the Russian strategy in Syria. Now, Russia is being accused of trying to ethnically cleanse the Turkmen for the region of the northwest of the country by its intensive air raids on the civilians there. What's their agenda in this part of the country?
I think that what we should look at is the broader Russian strategy that really isn't limited to Syria. It began with the invasion of Georgia in 2008, the aggression against Ukraine that began last year, and now this kind of assertion in Syria. The goal seems to be to enter the vacuum in Syria, where the U.S. has failed to lead for 4 years, and to try to intimidate U.S. allies and to frame the battle in Syria as solely between the Assad regime, whom Vladimir Putin is bent on maintaining and preserving, and to paint everyone else who opposes him, Mr. Assad, as terrorists, and to kind of face down U.S. allies, including Turkey, but also the Gulf Arab states who've opposed Assad's regime for good reason.
All right. Wall Street Journal's Sohrab Ahmari, we thank you for that analysis.